document for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on over to the Rayburn Building. As I understand it, your testimony today is that you have not brought criminal charges against Hillary Clinton, in part because you feel you can't prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and in part because she didn't understand the laws with regard to emails and servers and that sort of thing. Question for you. When she erased these emails, or no, digress for a second. You, however, did say that if somebody did this under you, there would be consequences. If somebody did exactly what Mrs. Clinton did, but was one of your lieutenants, or you think one of the lieutenants under the CIA or some other agency that deals with top secret documents, what would you do to those underlings?
I would make sure that they were adjudicated through a security disciplinary proceeding to figure out what are all the circumstances and then what punishment discipline is appropriate. That could range from being terminated to being reprimanded, and then a whole spectrum in between: suspension, loss of clearance. It's a bunch of different options. Okay, but tomorrow, let's say one of your top 2 or 3 lieutenants, you find out that they've had this separate server out there and they're keeping secret documents, you know, flipping them around. Do you think they should be fired? Not criminally charged, but fired? Yeah, I don't think it's appropriate to say. I think it should go through. We have a very robust process. There ought to be a very intense suitability review of that person. Maybe there's something we're missing that would mitigate the punishment we would impose, but it would have to go through our system. Okay, next question, just for the listening audience here. At first, when I hear about erasing emails, I think it's, you know, like on my own phone where I might erase an auto insurance solicitation. The erasures here, however, were not just Mrs. Clinton pressing delete, there was a much greater effort made to make sure that these emails would never be recovered. Do you want to comment on what was done to erase the emails? I think what you're referring to is after her lawyers say, although I'm not able to verify this, there were 60,000 or so left at the end of 2014. They went through them in a way I described in my statement 2 days ago, and then they produced the ones that were work-related, and then they erased from their system the ones that were not work-related. That was done using technical tools, basically, to remove them from the lawyers, from the servers, to wipe them away. Okay, so in other words, the effort was not just Mrs. Clinton or somebody went delete, delete, delete. They went above and beyond that so that your top technical experts could not get back at these emails, correct? Right, not fully. We were able to, by going You recovered a few. Yeah, we could go through the lawyers' laptops and see some traces, but not fully recover them. Okay. Now, the information that I have, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, implies that these erasures were done in December of 2014, after the Benghazi scandal broke, after there were questions about the Clinton Foundation. Did you ever come across why she allowed these emails to out there, even for years after she stopped being Secretary of State, but all of a sudden, as these other scandals began to bubble up, she felt, or her lawyers felt, that she had to erase them? Yeah, I think the way the process worked is she had emails that were just on her system. She actually had deleted some, I think, over time, as an ordinary user would. And then the State Department contacted her and other former secretaries and said, we have a gap in our records. We need you to look and see if you have emails and give them back. She then tasked her lawyers to engage in this review process of that 60-some thousand and make that cut, and then was asked by her lawyers at the end, do you want us to keep the personal emails? And she said, I have no use for them anymore. It's then that they issued the direction that the technical people delete them. Do you think Mrs. Clinton knew that the technical people were erasing these emails so that even your top technical experts could recover them? Based on my sense now of her technical sophistication, I don't think so. You don't think the lawyers told her that that's what they were doing, erasing all these emails that everybody on this committee wanted to look at? Yeah, and I'm sure we've asked this. The type of lawyer wouldn't tell their client they were doing that, but I don't think they. I think our evidence from our investigations, they did not. That they asked her, do you want to keep them? And they said no, and they said wipe them away. Okay. Now, as I understand it, the goal was just to erase personal emails, but you've recovered emails that wouldn't be considered personal emails at all. Correct. Okay.
I don't know that you didn't recover them, but based upon the emails that you recovered, presumably her lawyers or somebody was going well beyond personal emails. Is it possible we'll never be able to recover emails that dealt with the Clinton Foundation or dealt with the Benghazi scandal? Is it possible because of what her lawyers did that they were erasing things that were incriminating, maybe involving items that you yourself were not particularly investigating, but that these have now been destroyed forever?
Yes, it's possible. As I said in my statement on Tuesday, we did not find evidence to indicate that they did the erasure to conceal things of any sort. But it's possible, as I said on Tuesday, that there are work-related emails that were in the batch that were deleted.
I'm sorry, when you go to this length to make sure you can never recover the emails who are erased, wouldn't you think the intent is to make sure nobody ever looks at them again? Why otherwise when you just go delete, delete?
Thank the gentleman. We'll give the director time to, if he wants to respond.
Sure. I guess it's a bit circular. You delete because you want to delete. But what I mean is we didn't find any evidence of evil intent, an intent to obstruct justice there.
You wouldn't have been able to
I think
because you don't know it was deleted. But
okay.
Thank the gentleman.